if you're able to connect with the interviewer on a personable level, they're like, I like this person. I would like to see myself working with this person because I can connect with them in that way.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Pineapple Improv Show. I'm your host, Mike Brown, and today we are discussing enhancing your interviewing skills with improv. My special guest today with me, all the way from Oakland, California. She's a software engineer, she's a writer, she is a live stream host. Please welcome my very good friend, Dominica May. Dominica, how are you today?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thanks. It's good to be here.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you. Dominica, can you tell us a little bit about uh, what your experience is like in doing interviews, either conducting interviews or being an interviewee?
Oh, yeah. So I wanted to talk more from the interviewee perspective because I feel like improv really enhanced my ability to interview well when I'm interviewing for jobs. Um, it's the thing that I credit to the reason I got my last job as a curriculum engineer. Um, I think it's the reason that I was able to go through 7 rounds of interviews for another job. Did not get it, but like
Seven
7 rounds.
rounds
Yeah.
of interviews. Holy cow.
Yeah, for one job. So I don't
Oof.
think I would have succeeded that well without my improv background.
So, before you started doing improv or taking improv classes, what were your interviewing skills like?
I mean, I just didn't go. It's generally like I mean I hadn't had a job for a long time. Um and but I'm autistic and have a background of being socially awkward and not really knowing what's appropriate to say to people in certain contexts and stuff like that. But going through improv training helped me feel more free to just think off the cuff to answer questions and seem more authentic and relatable.
In your experience, what do most people struggle with when interviewing?
um there's like the lack of preparation or feeling like it's difficult to answer the question because they don't have a specific example to draw from, or it's not like right at the top of their head to draw from, to talk about their particular experience, like how they handled a situation or that sort of thing. It can be very hard to think of those sorts of things off of the top of your head, I think.
So, with with the state of the world of which we are today in social media, um, I think it's fair to say that our social skills, or our soft skills, have kind of taken a dip collectively
Oh,
uh, as a group.
yes. Uh, yeah. Sorry, this is why I live stream my current live stream that I'm doing. Not that I want to plug it, but yes, it's more I feel like the people are have shorter attention spans now. They just want the immediate, dopamine fix or whatever, rather than the depth of connection and vulnerability. And I think that's a major difference.
Why is that depth of vulnerability and intimacy necessary when interviewing?
I think being able to connect on a human level is what allows you to, get because in a lot of cases, it helps you get to the next stage of the interview. Because if you're able to connect with the interviewer on a personable level, they're like, I like this person. I would like to see myself working with this person because I can connect with them in that way.
So how has improv helped you become more vulnerable and develop those connections with people?
Yeah, permission. I trained with Lila Improv Theater in San Francisco, and their motto is like truthful artistic play. So they kind of train you to be more authentic, to dig into your deeper self and bring that authentic self out. And it gives you more permission to be your authentic self as well. And people, like when you start to see that the people you're performing with really appreciate that side of you, then it allows you to drop the mask and stop hiding who you really are.
Now, Dominica, before the show started, we had kind of discussed about playing a short form game together. I think we had decided on the game Five Things, but I want to throw you a curveball if you're up for it.
Sure,
Uh,
let's do it.
s-
I'm an
so
improviser.
here we go.
That's
So
improv
there's
for you. That's improv.
You never know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So there's an exercise that we teach a lot called emotional range. So every human being on the planet experiences a range of emotions, and they all are boiled down to one of four. We have happiness, sadness, fear, and anger. Every other emotion that we feel as human beings is either a combination or a derivative of those four. So, real basically, I'm just going to call out one of these emotions, and I want you to kind of do your best to embody it. And if you want to say a phrase, maybe over and over and over again. Let's just say the phrase apples, apples, apples. Just keep it simple, right? Apples,
Okay.
apples, apples. Um, you can use any other tool that you have at your disposal, your vocal range, your facial expressions, your physicality. And I'm just going to call out a few different emotions. Are you ready to play?
Sure, let's go for it.
Okay, awesome. So let's start easy. Let's go with happiness. Just embody happiness.
Apples, 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 apples. Oh,
Sadness. Sadness.
sadness,
Anger. Anger. And fear.
apples, apples, apples,
And back to happiness.
apples.
And scene. Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much for going through this really silly, ridiculous. I know the audio was kind of cutting out a little bit. The more I don't know, technology, Zoom, the way that the audio picks up when it's intense, it tends to kind of cut out a little bit. But I think we still got the vibe of what you were are portraying for us. In this particular exercise with an emotional range, right? In the classroom, we typically play the scale of each of those emotions. You can play it down to a one and be really coy and subtle, or you could play it at a 10 and be really loud and intense, right? Um, what is it about this exercise do you think helps people prepare to make some of those interpersonal connections, especially when interviewing?
Yeah, no, that I could tell that that's where you were going with this when you when you started. Um, Absolutely. I mean, they want to hire somebody who is excited to work at the company. So get into that excitement range, show how enthusiastic you are to work at the company, what it is about that job in particular that you want to do. Um, it's so much more interesting than, answering the standard questions, the standard way, right? It's like, blah, yeah, I don't even know what this company is. Like, I just need a job. No, no, research them in advance, obviously. But
Of course, yeah, do
um,
your homework.
but then also, yeah, really show how enthusiastic you and how much you are motivated. So all of those heightened emotions, I think, help a lot.
One thing that I recognized or thought of as you were doing this is I think sometimes we, uh, especially in a social media, personal device world, we lose some of those social skills. So giving yourself the permission and the exercise of playing some of these emotions in kind of a safe harboring environment, play the range of happiness, sadness, fear, and anger. You tend to kind of break down some of those walls that might be prohibiting you from displaying emotion in public. And so I think that that muscle memory helps out a lot in interpersonal skills as well.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. And yeah, just having permission to feel your emotions, I think improv really brings a lot of that out because a lot of the messaging we get these days, I think especially for men in particular, is hide your emotions. You're not allowed to feel them. People don't want to see that, but really they do because that's how you connect.
Right. Yep. Exactly. Dominica, we're getting short on time, but I just wanted to kick it to you and see, are there any other last tips or tricks or any last words of advice that you'd like to leave our listeners with in terms of interviewing, using improv to enhance your interviewing skills?
I think just like going through a long improv training program really helps with the ability to think on your feet and answer questions, even if you haven't had time to prepare for a particular question in an interview. Um, that's been a big thing for me because you're supposed to prepare particular stories because you have anticipated questions, but sometimes you'll have a question that you were not anticipating, and so having improv skills in your tool belt or whatever to help you think on your feet to answer those questions really helps a lot.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here, giving all of your expertise and experience with us today. For anyone who's interested in taking improv classes or maybe hiring Pineapple Improv to come into your workplace and conduct maybe some mock interviews, check out the links below or just visit pineappleimprov.com. Again, folks, if you want to find any more information as to how to bring improv into your workplace, go ahead and visit pineappleimprov.com. The Pineapple Improv Show debuts on LinkedIn every Wednesday at noon Eastern Standard Time. And until then, have a great week. Bye, everyone.